Imagine this, you're watching a game and suddenly players are swapping jerseys on the field. Yeah, it sounds insane, but it happened. Players would switch jerseys during a stoppage to confuse their opponents and the referees. This tactic caused chaos, making it nearly impossible to track who was who. The idea was to mess up the marking system, making it difficult for defenders to keep track of their man. It could change the dynamic of a game instantly, creating mismatches and exploiting confusion. Football relies heavily on clear identification, both for fair play and for the referees to do their job effectively. Imagine trying to call offside when you're not even sure who's who. So, FIFA stepped in and banned this deceptive tactic to keep the game orderly and fair. But that's just one trick. Let's dive into some of the weirdest banned tricks in football history. Trust me, these are so crazy, you won't believe they were ever attempted. Now, picture this. Multiple players suddenly drop to the ground writhing in pain. What a spectacle! This wasn't just bad acting, it was a planned move to disrupt the game. By feigning injuries all at once, teams could manipulate the game's tempo and cause delays. This tactic was especially effective in breaking the momentum of the opposing team, calling their attack and giving a breather to a fatigued defense. But this unsportsmanlike conduct couldn't go unchecked. Football is meant to be a continuous flowing game, and these fake injuries were a direct violation of that spirit. Plus, it was incredibly frustrating for fans and unfair to the opposing team. The governing bodies of football had to intervene, banning such antics to maintain the integrity and flow of the game. Next up, something really out there: inflating the ball to weird sizes or shapes. Teams would mess with the ball's inflation to affect its flight and bounce. Imagine trying to play with a ball that bounces like a rugby ball. Yeah, not cool. Teams would use this trick to gain a bizarre advantage, especially in situations where a normal ball would have been too predictable. Standardization is key in football, so this trick was banned to ensure fair play for everyone. Every player deserves to compete on a level playing field, and messing with the ball's inflation completely undermines that. So, FIFA enforced strict regulations on ball size and shape to ensure consistency and fairness across all matches. And if you think that's crazy, how about using animals or objects to distract opponents? During matches, players or fans would release animals like birds or throw objects onto the pitch to distract the opposing team. Can you imagine trying to focus on the game while a chicken runs across the field? This not only caused confusion but also posed serious safety hazards. In one infamous incident, a fan released a chicken onto the pitch during a Blackburn Rovers match as a form of protest. The players and officials were left scrambling to catch the bird, completely disrupting the game. Such distractions not only affect the players, but also compromise the safety and integrity of the match. So, for the sake of safety and maintaining the game's integrity, this tactic was quickly banned. Have you ever seen players deliberately scoring own goals? This was done to influence match outcomes for betting purposes or other shady reasons. Scoring an own goal on purpose goes against everything football stands for. Imagine the betrayal fans feel when they discover their favourite player is sabotaging the game for money. Match fixing and deliberate own goals were banned to uphold the sport's integrity and ensure fair competition. Football is all about genuine competition and fair play, and such tactics completely undermine these principles. Governing bodies have since implemented strict measures to detect and prevent match fixing, including severe penalties for those caught. Now let's talk about throw-ins. Pretty straightforward, right? Not always. Players would hide the ball under their shirts or use tricks to confuse opponents during a throw-in. This deception disrupted the flow of the game and confused everyone on the field. In some cases, players would even pretend to throw the ball one way and then quickly toss it in the opposite direction. Such deceptive tactics were seen as unsporting and against the spirit of fair play. To keep things clear and fair, disguised throw-ins were banned. Football relies on straightforward rules that everyone can follow, and any trickery that undermines these principles is not allowed. No more hiding the ball, folks. Some players got creative to avoid handball penalties by taping their hands to their bodies. By binding their hands to their sides or backs, they hope to dodge any accidental handball calls. But this not only interfered with the natural movement, but also posed injury risks. Imagine playing a high-intensity game with your hands taped. It's not just uncomfortable, but also dangerous. Unsporting tactics like this were banned to ensure fair play and player safety. Football is about skill and strategy, not finding loopholes in the rules. Plus, it's essential for players to have free movement for balance and control, so this bizarre practice was quickly outlawed. In 2004, players started revealing messages on their undershirts during goal celebrations. Whether personal or political, these messages took the focus away from the game and stirred up controversy. Players used this moment of glory to broadcast their messages to millions of viewers, creating distractions and sometimes even sparking debates. To maintain professionalism and keep the spotlight on football, displaying undershirt messages was banned. The goal is to keep the game focused on the sport itself and avoid turning it into a platform for personal or political statements. This rule helps keep the game clean and enjoyable for all fans. In 2016, the use of tech devices during matches was banned. Some teams and players used electronic communication devices to gain strategic advantages. Imagine a coach using a hidden earpiece to relay real-time tactics to players on the field. It's like having an unfair advantage in a high-stakes game. This undermined the fairness of the game, as football decisions should be made on the field, not with the help of gadgets. Artificial aids were banned to keep the game fair and square, ensuring that all strategies and decisions come from the players and coaches based on their skills and instincts, not external devices. Finally, we have a move that sounds both funny and dangerous. Players would kick or handle the ball while on the ground, disrupting the flow of the game and risking injuries. This tactic was sometimes used to maintain possession in awkward situations, but it often led to chaotic scrambles and potential injuries. To ensure sportsmanship and safety, it was banned. Players need to be upright when playing the ball to keep the game dynamic and prevent unnecessary risks. This rule helps maintain a standard of play that prioritizes both skill and safety. So there you have it, the weirdest banned tricks in football history. Which do you think is the weirdest? Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to never miss a live football video.